We're taking a look at the Dell XPS 12. This is the two-part convertible. That's a detachable 12-inch screen aimed at business and consumers alike. There's a fantastic 4K screen on here, a really nice backlit keyboard. The whole package weighs around 1.2, 1.3 kilos. Now, it's not super light and it's not super thin as well. There's also the problem, or maybe the advantage, of just having this single unit or single angle detachable here. It can be removed with one hand, but of course it's not adjustable for angle. Let me just take the case away, which can also be used as a tablet stand, although I found it extremely difficult to use it as a stand, and it is supposed to cover the whole unit when it's put away, but as you can see, it's not the easiest of devices to protect, so bear that in mind if you're going to be running around with this. The XPS 12 goes up against a number of devices, the HP Spectra X2 for example, the Surface Pro 4 in Core M build as well, and the Lenovo Mix 700. And here we've got the Galaxy Tab S Pro. This is actually going through review right now by me, and the review should be up by end of next week. But obviously this is a competing device. Now the Samsung has a similar casing, but it doesn't have the hard hinge of the Dell XPS 12, and I really don't like the stands on these devices, but there is the case stand. Again, a single or maybe dual position stand on that, but taking up a little bit more space in terms of surface area on the bottom. We'll be doing the full review of that over the next week, so stay tuned for that. Let's get back to the XPS 12 though. Having a look around the outside, you can see immediately we've got two USB-C ports here with USB 3.1, Rev 2, Thunderbolt and power delivery installed on these. So these are very flexible devices and flexible ports, and Dell actually provide a USB 3 adapter. I actually had a little problem with that, attached to USB 3 SSD, and couldn't get more than USB 2 speeds out of it. So I'm not sure whether there's a firmware issue here, compatibility issue, or whether this blue indicating the USB 3 isn't in fact USB 3. Further investigation needed there, but be aware of that. So power and connectivity must be provided over these. There's no separate power port. We've also got your micro SD card slot here, and for LTE versions the SIM card will go in there. Volume rocker there. On the other side there's just the power button and a lock port. So one of the highlights, and this is a good highlight, is the working surface area. The screen is very high quality, and the keyboard too. We'll start with the keyboard. Nearly 2mm throat on these keys. They're really solid. There's absolutely no movement in the base here, and we've got a backlight as well. So that keyboard there, useful for long-term work. The touchpad is pretty smooth as well, and there are nice clicks at the bottom of the device. As you see, I need to charge this device. We'll do that right now, and I'll show you the screen. The charger is fairly compact, considering it's a 30-watt charger, and it's a USB-C port on the end of it. So that simply plugs into one of the two, doesn't matter which, ports there. So as I said, we've got a 4K screen here, and that is a really high quality screen. It is a very high DPI resolution, and the colors, accuracy and the contrast and the viewing angles and the spread of colors actually pretty good. So that is a very impressive screen. 4K on a 12-inch screen is rare. We've got Core M inside here. This is an M7 version. This version actually €1,800. It's a very expensive unit. It's a really solid unit. So I think for people that are wanting a little bit of ruggedness, this two-part convertible capability and a great working area, this is definitely worth thinking about. However, there's no digital video out, or at least native HDMI or DisplayPort out, so you need to be getting an adapter for one of the two USB-C ports. Dell offers a whole range of adapters, including a dock which will break out digital video, USB 3 ports, and more. And you can see it's a glossy screen there. There are the pogo pins on the front. There's a headset port on the bottom left, I forgot to mention earlier. The whole unit seems really, really nice. There's a magnesium alloy casing and it's rubberized, so it's very, very grippy as well. So you're unlikely to have this slipping from your hands. However, the connection to the keyboard when closed is not that stable. It's magnetic, but you can actually slide it. So be very careful if you're picking this up. You don't grab the whole unit. It's possible that the tablet will slip away from the keyboard. So as I said, Core M7 inside here with 8 GB of RAM. Let's talk about performance a little. In general, this is underperforming other devices in its class. It seems to be down throttling a little bit more than other devices, and it seems to be resulting in low performance scores for PC Mark 7, for example, Cinebench, and of course gaming. Well, gaming in general on the M7s or the M5s and M3s is a no-no. Certainly PC gaming, you're stuck to store gaming, but that's not really the target market here. 28 watt-hour battery inside, so that is already quite a lot smaller than the competing devices, and the battery life on this is slightly disappointing as a result of that. So there are the battery life reports on the screen. And go to the website for a full breakdown of battery and power drain on this. In terms of general performance, you won't have problems doing any office work on this or multimedia playback. For creating videos, for video production work, it will render out to HD at a reasonable rate, but this may not be the best device to do that, and you have to watch out for throttling that will slow the render rate down after a short while. Wi-Fi inside was good. We had no problems with the Wi-Fi, and that's an AC capable Intel unit. Of course, this is a fanless device, so it's totally noiseless, and in terms of heat, even under maximum load, it doesn't build up to anything significant. One of the small advantages of the small battery is the fact that it will charge fairly quickly. It's showing 1 hour and 35 minutes till full charge here, so obviously 30 watts, not quite going through here, but very close to that to charge that 28 watt hour battery. Speakers are average, so don't expect this to be a boombox. And let me just run down some pros and cons, a little summary for you. Great screen, good quality, good viewing angles there, and a great resolution, very high-end resolution. Good solid build, feels really solid, this unit, and there's a nice high-capacity 512 GB SSD with extremely high transfer rates. It's an NVMe module inside. Keyboard is excellent. I personally really like the keyboard, and that backlight's going to really help as well. If you're lapping it, of course, you need to be careful because it doesn't tip back to the right screen angle. So although you've got the advantage of having a small surface area to put it on your lap with, you might find that it's actually very unstable because you want to try and tip it back. Passive cooling, good set of USB ports here, USB-C with USB 3.1 Rev 2 and Thunderbolt, so that's going to be good in the future. And of course, fairly stylish and fairly elegant design, if not the lightest or the thinnest of the devices in this class. On the negative points, the processor doesn't really get up to its potential advantage with the M7, so you might want to consider an M5 version of this. The M7 not really giving you much more than the M5, and in many cases it's downclocking below comparable devices. For example, the M3 version of the Surface Pro 4. And because of that 28 watt hour battery life is really not that impressive. So if you're looking for a really rugged tablet first, that you actually want to do desktop typing with, that angle, that screen angle is near perfect, and the keyboard is really nice. The screen is fantastic. However, battery life is an issue. You'll have to take that into consideration. But it is a really, really strong unit. Dell have done a good job there. So the Dell XPS 12 with Core M7 here, scoring 85% overall. That's a reasonable score, but be very aware of the limitations and this is a very, very targeted device, really targeted at rugged laptop first users, in my opinion. That screen really fantastic for presentations to customers. Could be a very interesting solution for digital photographers, videographers wanting to show off work to customers. So that was the Dell XPS 12. My name's Chippy. This is the Notebook Check Tech Review channel. Don't forget to give us a like. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to watch more. And don't forget, the Samsung Tab Pro S4 review is coming up soon. And if you follow me on Chippy, I might be able to give you a few previews on that. That screen is quite stunning, to be honest. This AMOLED screen is quite amazing. More on that coming up on the Tech Review channel on Notebook Check. Thanks for watching.